Resonance is the rhythm a circuit naturally wants to vibrate at. Today we are connecting two worlds, a mechanical oscillator, mass and spring, and an electrical oscillator, inductance and capacitance. The key idea is energy trading back and forth, not disappearing. Inductance stores energy in a magnetic field, like motion energy. Capacitance stores energy in an electric field, like spring tension energy. When the timing is just right, the exchange becomes smooth and powerful. That is resonance. Thanks to Tony Kuphaldt and the open source community for the instructional foundation behind this lesson. Oscillation happens when energy keeps switching forms. In mechanics, energy swaps between kinetic energy and potential energy. In circuits, energy swaps between current energy in inductance and voltage energy in capacitance. When the swap repeats, you get a cycle, back and forth, back and forth. So resonance is not magic. It is just a very organized energy exchange. Inductance acts like inertia. It resists changes in current. Capacitance acts like elasticity. It resists changes in voltage. Inductance stores energy in a magnetic field. Capacitance stores energy in an electric field. They are opposites that cooperate. Resonance exists because inductance and capacitance take turns holding the energy. Imagine the capacitor starts fully charged, maximum voltage, zero current. The capacitor begins to discharge, pushing current into the inductor. As current rises, the inductor builds a magnetic field and stores energy there. Eventually, the capacitor voltage drops, but current peaks as the inductor coasts. Then the inductor collapses its magnetic field and pushes energy back into the capacitor. That back and forth swap is the heartbeat of resonance. Resonance occurs at one specific frequency, where inductive reactance equals capacitive reactance. In plain language, the pushback from inductance matches the pushback from capacitance. Resonant frequency can be said as 1/2 times the square root of inductance times capacitance. Bigger inductance, or bigger capacitance, means a slower oscillation. Smaller inductance or smaller capacitance means a faster oscillation. Every inductance and capacitance pair has a natural rhythm. In a series inductance-capacitance circuit at resonance, total impedance gets very small. To the source, it can look almost like a short circuit. The inductor voltage and capacitor voltage are equal in size, but opposite in phase. Because they oppose each other, they cancel at the terminals. So the source sees almost no reactive voltage, even though big things are happening inside. Here is the weird part. The inductor can have a large voltage across it. The capacitor can have a large voltage across it. Yet the total reactive voltage at the terminals can be near zero because they are 180 degrees out of phase. This is called voltage magnification in series resonance. This is why resonant circuits can stress components even when the source voltage looks normal. In a parallel inductance-capacitance circuit at resonance, total impedance becomes very large. To the source, it can look like an open switch. The branch currents through the inductor and capacitor are equal and opposite. They cancel at the node, so supply current can drop very low. So series resonance looks like a short circuit, and parallel resonance looks like an open circuit. This parallel circuit is often called a tank circuit. Energy gets trapped sloshing between inductance and capacitance. Supply current can be near zero, but circulating current inside the tank can be high. The source only needs to provide a small amount of energy to replace losses. Like pushing a swing, tiny nudges keep a big motion going. That is why tank circuits are powerful in filters and tuning. Here is the deeper explanation of why the behaviors flip. In a series connection, both components must share the same current. In a parallel connection, both components must share the same voltage. To balance power flow, the circuit adjusts what it can. Voltage in series, current in parallel. Same physics, different constraints, so the outside world sees opposite results. Real circuits are not perfect because resistance always exists. Resistance dissipates energy as heat, like friction in a mechanical system. Quality factor is the idea of stored energy compared to lost energy. High quality factor means it rings for a long time. Low quality factor means it dies out quickly. Quality factor tells you how sharp and strong resonance will be. High quality factor gives a narrow bandwidth, meaning it strongly prefers one frequency. That is what you want in a radio tuner or selective filter. Low quality factor gives a wider bandwidth, meaning more frequencies pass through. Wider bandwidth can be more stable, but less selective. So quality factor controls selectivity versus stability. Here is a practical trick. Measure an unknown inductance using resonance. Connect the unknown inductor in series with a known capacitor. Sweep frequency with a signal generator until the circuit hits resonance. Once you know resonant frequency and capacitance, you can calculate inductance. Example numbers. Resonant frequency around 73.8 Hz with a 1.0 microfarad capacitor. That works out to an inductance of about 4.65 Henries. Perfect components do not exist. Wires and traces behave like tiny inductors. Gaps and junctions behave like tiny capacitors. Those parasitics can form accidental tank circuits and cause ringing. One common cure is adding resistance called damping to reduce quality factor. Sometimes the goal is not stronger resonance. Sometimes the goal is stopping it. Resonance occurs when inductive reactance equals capacitive reactance. In series resonance, impedance is minimum and current is maximum, and voltage magnification can happen. In parallel resonance, impedance is maximum, supply current is minimum, and circulating tank current can be high. Quality factor determines how efficient the oscillation is and how narrow the bandwidth becomes. Understanding resonance is really understanding how energy moves and where it gets lost. Thanks again to Tony Kuphaldt and the open source community for making this kind of learning accessible to everyone.